What if an argument at home doesn't stay private anymore? What if one phone call can bring police to your door, trigger an arrest, and change your family's future forever? In the United States, domestic violence is not just a personal issue, it is a serious legal matter. Today, we're explaining what domestic violence really means under U.S. law, how police and courts respond, what protections exist for victims, especially women, and how these cases affect children, families, and lives. This is not about drama. This is about law, rights, and reality. What is domestic violence under U.S. law? Domestic violence is not limited to physical assault. Under U.S. law, domestic violence generally refers to abusive behavior between people who have a close personal relationship, such as spouses or ex-spouses, dating or former partners, people living together, parents of the same child. Domestic violence can include physical harm or threats, sexual abuse, emotional or psychological abuse, stalking or harassment, controlling behavior, isolation, financial control. The key point: it's about power and control, not just injuries. Domestic violence has no single cause, but courts and experts often see patterns. Desire to control a partner, jealousy or possessiveness, substance abuse, alcohol or drugs, past exposure to violence, stress, financial pressure, or anger issues. Importantly, none of these excuse abuse. Under U.S. law, personal stress is never a legal defense to domestic violence. How the law protects women and all victims. U.S. law provides strong protections, especially recognizing that women are statistically more affected. Key legal protections include the Violence Against Women Act, VOWA, state domestic violence statutes, emergency protective orders, criminal prosecution. Women have the legal right to call police without permission, seek protection orders, leave the home safely, receive court protection, even without physical injuries. Domestic violence cases are treated as public safety matters, not private family disputes. What happens when police respond to a DV call? When police receive a domestic violence call, they follow mandatory procedures in many states. Police will separate the parties, assess injuries and threats, interview witnesses, look for signs of fear or control. In many states, police must make an arrest if they find probable cause, even if the victim does not want charges. The incident already ended. No visible injuries exist. This is called mandatory or preferred arrest policy. Can someone be arrested without evidence? Yes, but not without legal basis. Police do not need video evidence, medical reports, a confession. They do need probable cause, which may include statements, injuries, witness accounts, 911 recordings, scene evidence. The goal is immediate safety, not final judgment. Once an arrest happens, the case belongs to the state, not the victim. The prosecutor decides whether to file charges, what charges apply, whether to continue the case. Even if the victim later asks to drop the case, prosecutors may proceed to prevent coercion, protect victims, stop repeat violence. This is why domestic violence is treated as a crime against society, not just an individual. In court, the process usually includes arraignment, charges read, bail or release conditions, no contact orders, hearings or trial judges may order, temporary restraining orders, stay away orders, surrender of firearms, mandatory counseling. Violating court orders is a separate criminal offense. Victims can request emergency protective orders, immediate, temporary restraining orders, long-term protection orders. These can remove the abuser from the home, protect children, restrict contact, provide legal safety. Protection orders are civil, but violating them is criminal. Domestic violence charges can result in jail or prison time, fines, probation, mandatory treatment programs, permanent criminal record, additional consequences, loss of firearm rights, immigration consequences, impact on employment, loss of child custody. Domestic violence cases follow people for life. Family courts treat domestic violence very seriously. If domestic violence is proven, custody may be limited or denied. Supervised visitation may be ordered. Courts prioritize child safety. Even if violence was against the other parent, not the child, it still matters. How domestic violence affects children. Children exposed to domestic violence may experience anxiety and fear, behavioral problems, academic struggles, trauma, and long-term emotional harm. U.S. courts recognize that witnessing violence is harmful, even without physical abuse. This strongly influences custody decisions. Can domestic violence cases be false? Yes, but false allegations are taken seriously too. Courts and prosecutors look for consistency, evidence, motive, credibility. False accusations can lead to dismissed cases, legal consequences, custody penalties. However, the law balances this with the need to protect genuine victims. Domestic violence law is not about choosing sides. It's about safety, accountability, and prevention. The law exists to protect victims, protect children, and stop cycles of harm, but only if people understand how it works. If this video helped you, like, subscribe for clear U.S. legal education. Share this with someone who may need it, because knowing the law can protect lives.